that way before. But I didn't care. I didn't care. Cup was full. My cup was full, okay? So I'm sitting at my desk in my house about a week before school starts, and I get a phone call from one of my really close friends, and she goes, "Hey, Nicole, what you doing?" I said, "I'm just sitting here at the computer." She goes, "Well, David just called me," her husband. He's a home inspector. And he is driving around listening to the radio. He's listening to AM radio. And she goes, he said he's listening to this talk show, and she said he thinks they're talking about you on the talk show. She goes, "It's AM 750. Lars Larson." Yeah. So I say, "You're kidding me." So she goes, "Turn it on." So I turn it on, and sure enough, he's starting a show, and he is berating me. He's making fun of me. That should never happen. A teacher should not be allowed to go into a classroom with students. As this, how did they let this happen? Let's open up the phone lines. Let's let people chime in here. And oh my God, the idiocy and intolerance and you name it was pouring through that phone. "My daughter'd never be in that classroom." You know, these people out in Coquille were saying stuff like that. And I thought, well, I wouldn't be in Coquille trying to do this either. Yeah, small town stuff. So for the next 2 hours, he proceeded to just ream me. And the school district didn't want to have anything out in the public about what was going to go on. We were just kind of go under the door, slip it underneath. We're just going to, "Hey, that's happening." And it couldn't happen that way. So I guess what happened, a parent somehow got a hold of the news of it and got a hold of Lars Larson, and then they made this big show about it. Well, they did it for 2 days. But the lady that called me and told me about it, she called in and reamed him on the positive side, because she had known me as a teacher for a long time and loved me as a teacher. And actually my reputation saved me as I did the transition, because I was a good teacher before. And I'm still a good teacher, but thankfully, the end is now here. I'm going to retire in 2 months. So. But that is to say that this road has been a bitch. It has been a bitch. I'm not kidding. Can you imagine in your own life, and it wouldn't be an all of a sudden thing for sure, but it would be an all of a sudden change, because one day you're this, and then the next day you're that, to everyone else. Now, it hadn't been that way for me in my personal life, but in my public life, that was how it happened. This is another story to kind of get you to understand people, because people can be so small-minded. But as I grew older and my father was bald, I became to get bald. Did not like it at all. If you're a woman in here and you lost your hair, you would freak out, wouldn't you? You would freaking freak out big time. Well, that's what was happening to me. I was freaking out. So I had a student in my classroom one day, and she had no idea what was going on. I said, I really want hair. She goes, "Why don't you go to Hair Club for Men?" I go, never thought about that. That's why I said it's probably too expensive. She goes, "Check it out." So I did. Checked it out. It was expensive, let me tell you. But I did it because it was worth it to me. So what happened was, it's November, before Thanksgiving break. Right at Thanksgiving break, I go to Hair Club for Men and get a full head of hair. Come back to school on Monday. Nobody recognized me. I would walk down the hall, and I would say hi to people, and they go, "Who are you?" They freaked out just because I got hair. It gave me a sign of how it would be if I ever would transition. It would be the exact same thing, and it was. It truly was. People, again, going back to their box. This is my box, my happy box. I like everything in my box just the way it is. Don't mess up my box. Because I'm not ready to do this yet, or this yet. Keep me in my box. Safe, secure, happy. It's how it is. I bet everybody in here has a box. Everybody has a box. What I want you to do with that box is make it bigger. Allow people like myself in, because, yeah, there are people like me out there. They look like hell. They don't keep themselves up, and they just do it. They're almost like a caricature. You know, it's like they're flamboyant. They're who they are. They're who they are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to judge them. But I might want to be their helper to maybe dress nicer or not so provocative. You know, you just want to clean it up a little bit. You'll be fine. Because you really don't need to stand out. You don't want to stand out. Unless you do. And some of them like to do that. So, anyway, back to teaching. So, I make the transition. Make a long story short. It's been the last 6 years. Been the best 6 years of my teaching career. My kids at school love me. It's the craziest thing. I never got the support. I never got the verbal outpouring of caring that I now get from my students. I can say to them, cute dress. I can say that now. I can talk with my hands like this all the time. And they don't do anything about it. Before it was like, if I do...
Because the first, tell them about it when you brought the muffins.
Well, the first day, yeah. So you're trying to make things easy, and okay, let's go ease into this thing. So I go to Costco. Everybody likes Costco muffins, and I got this big plate of muffins. Put them on the desk. Say, help yourself. All the students start coming in. First day, don't even touch them. Just left them there the whole day. I ended up having to throw them out. It was terrible. They didn't know. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. So I said, first day, first moment in my classroom, I go, I'm happy you're all here. Try to smile. I tried to smile, to not let them know I was shaking like a freaking, leaf. And I said, we're here to do math, right? Yeah, we're here to do math. I'm a math teacher. Let's do math. Okay, here we go. Open your book, page 1. Let's go. And off we went. And it truly has not been a big deal since then at all. There were a few moments where parents would write articles to our local Westland Tidings about this crazy teacher. In fact, one of the parents that wrote the article had a daughter in my class. And it's like the third week of school, and she's gone on Monday. Gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm thinking, okay. They took her out of my class. On the next Monday, she shows up in my room. I said, oh, I thought you dropped my class. She goes, oh, no. I said, are you okay being in my classroom? She goes, oh, yeah, I like you as a teacher. I said, well, your parents wrote that article, about these, I shouldn't be a teacher and all that stuff. She goes, oh, yeah, my parents. I said, oh, so you're not on board with your parents? No, we don't see eye to eye. She stayed with my class the whole time. Loved me the whole year. So it was a few moments like that, but truly, not a big deal. A few faculty members didn't talk to me for like a year. They didn't say hi to me in the hallway. I didn't go out of my way to walk down the hallway, though. I'll tell you that. The way it was set up is we had built a brand new high school, and behind it was an old building that Deb and I, when Deb was there, she was teaching then and I teach in now. So we're kind of secluded. I just stay out there. In fact, when I go to the main building, the teachers go, what are you doing over here? And I go, I'm on a field trip over here. I never come over here. So I need to make a couple copies. So I'm going to open it up to questions here. But
tell them about the last thing I'm going to tell you. Have you tell them.
See, I've said this so many times. She's heard it so many times. She knows all these. And we're limited to time today.
Tell them
so.
about the high blood pressure.
Oh, yeah. So when I was 15 years old, I was a big-time athlete. In fact, I played college baseball at University of Portland, and I went on and played professional baseball for a couple of years. I was truly lucky to be able to do what I did. Loved basketball. Played City League basketball till I was 48 years old. Loved it, and I was good at it. But this little thing in the back, kept coming up. So when I was 15 years old, I was going in for the sports physical that you have to have every year, and the nurse takes my blood pressure. She goes, you need to lay down. She goes, your blood pressure is 150 over 100. I thought, okay. She goes, I can't even let you get out of here until I let that drop a little bit. And when you lay down, your blood pressure does fall a little bit. So I laid down. She took my blood pressure. It was still high, but she said it's high. I mean, it's okay to be able to go. I thought, that's weird. So this was something grinding in the back of my head since I had been a little kid. I go through high school, through college, get to my first teaching job, and they have a blood pressure person there. And they said, we'd like to take your blood pressure. Okay, take my blood pressure. 150 over 100 again. I go, what in the heck? I don't understand what's going on. I went to my dentist. My dentist says, you know you grind your teeth? I said, no, I sleep at night. I don't know that I grind my teeth. Why did he ask that question? So he said, yeah, you do grind your teeth. So I was like this all the time. Didn't know why, you know? And I had this kind of an inner anger thing going on. Well, that blood pressure stayed high. I went to the doctor, and when I'd go to the doctor, they'd take it and say, you're too high. And I eventually had to go on a blood pressure medication for it. When I transitioned, I went from 150 over 100 to 115 over 65. I had no idea that's how much it was killing me. It was literally killing me, and I didn't know it. So I'm telling you, didn't choose this. When it chose me, I had to buy into it, which I eventually did. So here I am. So I want to give you some time to ask a few questions. And this was really a short version. I have a YouTube channel that I've given other speeches on it, and you're welcome to go there. It's just Nicole Kent's.
Google her.
You can Google me and find out all about the Lars Larson show and all that other stuff. I'm not kidding. It's all on there. There's like 10 pages of links. But it is what it is, you know?
It's worth it.
It is what it is. And I would not be talking to you today if I were still married. I'll be honest with you. And I don't know if I've enlightened anybody today, but I hopefully have enlightened some people along this path that if nothing else is happening with me, that every once in a while I pick someone who goes, wow, that totally made sense to me. And yeah, how am I loving people? Am I conditional with everything? Is it truly that I love you if you stay this way, or if you do this for me, and if you keep me feeling this way about you? Or do I love you just the way you are? I don't care what you turn into. You could be a purple polka-dotted pink striped elephant. I don't care. Because I love you. I know your soul. You know a person's soul. And when you know a person's soul, how can you help but not want to be with them if you truly love them? See, that's my flabbergastness. I just go, WTF? Why? Why did you leave? I'm fun. I could be fun, really, a lot of fun actually. Get a couple of glasses of wine in. So anyway, questions?
Yeah, open for questions.
So when I lived in the Bay Area for a few years, I had this friend, and we started off as a male and everything, and we got along really great, strictly platonic, and we hit it off like we had a great friendship going. And so after about a year, he texts me and he tells me, listen, I have to tell you something, and I hope you'll be okay with it, and you'll still continue to be my friend, and this and that. And so he told me his whole spiel on text, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's fine, just whatever. I don't really care if you are the way you are. I mean, I understand. I'm sorry that you feel this way, and whatever you're going through. But we continued our friendship. Just picked up where it left off, and it didn't skip a beat. I don't have a problem with who he is, or if anything, I feel bad sometimes that he has to face this type of adversity.
Hello? Yeah, no kidding.
Well,
Tell me freaking about it.
He works at the San Francisco Federal State Building. I mean, he's really smart, and he's poli-sci.
So am I.
Just
kidding.
And so, they were okay with his transition and everything, and I was fine with it. It didn't bother me. Why should it bother me?
It shouldn't. You're right.
But I told my mom about it, and I was like, listen, I have this friend, and he's like this and this and that, and he's going to be, transitioning, and he was supposed to come for Thanksgiving, and my mom told me to not invite him anymore if he's going to come.
If he's going to make that kind of a decision.
And I felt really bad, and I was I felt
Welcome to my world.
bad.
Yeah.
I was just why? And she's well, she associated it with perversion.
Right. People don't know.
And my mom's a good person. My mom's not a bad person.
We're all good people.
She's not a hateful person.
No, it's called ignorance. They don't know.
Yeah,
they just don't know.
So, you know, she told me, she's like, listen, you know, I'm not telling you not to be friends with him or anything, but I want you to know that, you know, this